Could the idea of a huge altcoin season ever happening again really be dead? Or is there any possibility that we could see another major altcoin season happening in the coming months? Because in 2017 and 2021, it was the altcoin seasons that made many ordinary small crypto investors into multi-millionaires. However, in 2025, we never saw one at all. Well, I believe I found the exact reason for why 2025 and now played out very differently from how they did before. But I've also found what will likely trigger the next altcoin season, as well as the key indicators giving us the signal of exactly when it could start. Hit the like button and subscribe, and let's get stuck into today's video. Now guys, before we jump in and find out exactly what altcoins have been following, because this could mean that September and into October are massive months to get excited about in crypto, just a quick disclaimer. Nothing I say in this video is financial advice. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. If you wish to invest in crypto, you should understand that it's risky and you can lose money. So don't risk money that you can't afford to lose, and always do your own research before investing in anything. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's crack on with it. Now guys, right now across Twitter and YouTube, everyone is arguing as to whether or not Bitcoin is playing out like it did in previous cycles, and whether we're going to see it bottoming later on this year, or whether or not it has already bottomed. But I'm not here to debate that today, because there's one area of the crypto market that we already know has been significantly different over the past few years, and right now sits in a situation that can't possibly play out in the same way, and that is the altcoin market. And this chart shows exactly why this time will be different, because it already has been over the past few years. You see, this is the Bitcoin dominance, and you can see back in 2017 it fell from a whopping 95% down to roughly 35% in a few months, and in 2021 the same Bitcoin dominance fell from 73% all the way down to 39% in the course of just a few weeks. Now, for those of you who are unaware of what this is showing you the percentage of the entire crypto market held in Bitcoin. And when it dumps like this, it shows money flowing from Bitcoin and into altcoins. It doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin has to drop, it just means Bitcoin tends to slow down and altcoins go crazy. At least they did in 2017 and 2021. And many ordinary people around the world made millions of dollars with fairly small investments by just investing in a few key altcoins. However, in 2025, things were very different indeed. And you can see that the Bitcoin dominance fell from around 66% by about 9% down to 57%, meaning a very, very small window where we saw expansion of altcoins versus Bitcoin. As you can see, this was a very different scenario, not managing to reach down into this red box like previous cycles. So, does that mean that we are never going to see an altcoin season again? Are the days of making really life-changing money in crypto completely gone? Because ultimately, Bitcoin might give us a few X in the future, but it's nothing to get excited about like a real altcoin season. Or is there a possibility that there is a reason behind why this was like this compared to these two times, and there is a potential that we could see another one of these happening in the near future? Well, I personally think that there's reasons behind why we saw these massive drops before, and why this didn't play out this time, and why I think it is going to play out again in the future. And in order to explain that, I'm going to show you this rather noisy chart. And if it seems a little bit overwhelming, don't panic, because this is probably one of the more important things that you are ever going to see in crypto, especially now when the crypto market is dead, fearful, everyone's panicking about new lows coming later on, but this time is looking very interesting for altcoins. Now, what we have here are three different charts. On the top, you have others versus Bitcoin on the 1 month chart. Each of these dots represents 1 month. Others are the altcoins against Bitcoin. So when this is going up, it means altcoin is doing better than Bitcoin. When it's going down, altcoin is doing worse than Bitcoin. And as you can see, altcoins versus Bitcoin have been going down since December of 2021. Not last year, 2021, which means that they never saw altcoin season since 2021. Okay, and this then bottoms June 2025, which is nearly 14 months ago, meaning that altcoins didn't really go down that much versus Bitcoin since June of last year. Now on the bottom, you have the Bitcoin dominance chart, which I just showed you, but it was with a blue line this time rather than the candles. And this is kind of similar to the others versus Bitcoin at the top. What I should say is that the others is the altcoins outside the top 10. The Bitcoin dominance is just Bitcoin versus all things like Ethereum and USDT and whatever else, which aren't incorporated in this others chart. But you'll notice it's pretty much inverted and does the opposite of what others does. Now in the middle, you've got the ISM, or the manufacturing index. Now I'm aware that in my last video that I made last week, I did kind of mention this a little bit, and I will talk a little bit about that now, but don't worry, I'm going to talk about something the ISM has been following, because that's very key. And if you missed that video that I made last week, don't worry. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss another one, and go and watch that video after this, because in that video I ranked all the different major altcoins and I talked about how to identify the altcoins that were going to see the biggest growth when the crypto market started to warm up once more. But before you watch that, let's find out what really drives the altcoins and has historically been the main driver. Now, as you can see, the ISM and manufacturing index is very closely linked to the performance of the others versus Bitcoin chart. And that is a very, very important, because there is a way to see what is going to happen next for the ISM. Trust me, it's worth sticking around for. But hold on a minute, hit the pause button. What's the ISM? Well, bear with me. The ISM is a monthly survey of US purchasing managers. It doesn't show the amounts, but it shows the direction of purchasing going on in the United States. And let's think about this for a moment. If the economy is strong in the United States and there's lots of expansion going on, there will be lots of purchasing because they want to start expanding business, etc. If, however, the economy is weaker and not doing so well, you can start to see contraction of the purchasing going on. Now, the level in the middle, the solid red line, is 50. That means like no growth, no shrinkage. That's basically flat level. When the economy is fairly steady, that's basically what you see. When the economy starts to grow and you start to see more purchasing, you're going to see this blue line go towards the upside. And you can see every time it's been doing that over the past few years, I've put it in a green box. And it is very key because this green box links very closely to the others versus Bitcoin chart. However, the most important part on this ISM that I need you to pay attention to right now, when this ISM hits 58, which shows aggressive expansion, let's say that, which is this dashed red line, you can see that all of a sudden, the others versus Bitcoin goes bananas. Look at the Bitcoin dominance. February 2017, dumps off the face of a cliff because the ISM hits 58. Guess what? December 2020, the ISM goes and breaks strongly above 58. Okay, all of a sudden, what happens to others Bitcoin? Bang, straight towards the upside. Absolutely rips. Bitcoin dominance off the face of a cliff. Guess what? We then see from 2021 onwards, ISM goes down. And guess what? Over the past few years, while Bitcoin's been doing well and whatever, the ISM has been dabbling under 50, doing nothing, which shows that the US economy hasn't been great. And that means that every other global economy hasn't been doing so well either, because the US is the biggest consumer, which means all the producers like China, South Korea, and Taiwan, and whatever else, have also been struggling because they haven't been able to sell so much stuff. But this is all changing right now, because look, the ISM is back in the green zone. It is back, and it's pumping back towards the upside. And this is very, very key, because this expansion in the ISM, when it hits towards 58, could see a very similar expansion in the others versus Bitcoin chart. And just look at it for a moment. The others versus Bitcoin chart has been in this downtrend. It's broken out of this downtrend. It's come back to retest and is eventually starting to curl and go towards the upside. And if the ISM hits 58, I think that the others versus Bitcoin can do this, which I know leaves us all with an incredibly important question. When is the ISM going to hit 58? And that's the right question to be asking. So let's just have a little recap before we find out when we could be seeing it hit 58. Right now, we have identified that the ISM, or manufacturing index, has been falling over the past few years, which is why the Bitcoin dominance never really fell since 2021, which is why we didn't see an altcoin season since 2021, because it was the ISM, or the manufacturing index, in both 2017 and 2021, hitting extreme levels of purchasing and expansion, which is level 58 on the ISM. So the question is, are we ever going to see it hit 58 again? And how on earth do we know when that's going to happen? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because I'm going to show you a lot more charts that are going to answer this. Well, actually, don't panic. It's not a lot more charts. It's kind of one of the same charts and then a couple of other ones. The one in the middle is the ISM Purchasing Managers Agreement, the one we've already seen, right? We already know that. And on the top and the bottom, we have two other charts. This one here is the South Korean exports, and on the bottom, we have the Taiwan export prices. And you might be thinking to yourself, that seems random. Why are you trying to put these three charts together? Well, let's think about that for a moment. What is the economy right now that is booming more than anything? AI, right? We've seen major booms in AI that have been driving huge growth at the S&P 500. And a lot of that development is taking place in places like China, but also in the United States. OpenAI, Nvidia, Anthropic, etc. Okay, huge growth in the United States. But in order to be able to drive this booming economy, they need to purchase lots of different items, chips and processors and GPUs and whatever else. Where are they buying them from? I hear you cry. Well, they're buying them from South Korea, and they're buying them from Taiwan. And guess what? Because of all this purchasing that's going on and all the conversations that are happening across the markets in the US with these East Asian suppliers, these East Asian suppliers are starting to ramp up production ahead of time, around 3 to 4 weeks in advance. And as you can see, this is rallying very strongly, just like the ISM has been doing. And on the bottom, you've got the Taiwan exports also surging towards the upside. And this is likely front-running the ISM by about a month. So does that mean that there is a potential that the next ISM figures could be hitting up towards 58? Because if that is true, then we could be heading towards very exciting times for the altcoin market. Now, I want to be clear here. I don't expect that we're going to see the ISM hit 58 and all of a sudden every altcoin goes and does like a 20x. I'm not saying that, okay? I'm saying that this is now setting the conditions for a very strong altcoin market, even though over the past few years we haven't seen one. This is why this time has to be different, because it's already been very different. And if you have these conditions for altcoins, and on top of that you throw in Bitcoin starting to rally towards the upside, because despite the fact that we've had a war on in Iran, and we've had high oil prices, and we've had Michael Saylor selling Bitcoin, and we've had a massive cold card wallet hack just the other day for $130 million, Bitcoin doesn't seem to be getting forced down. That tells me that the sellers are exhausted and the buyers are stepping in, more than likely already seen a bottom for Bitcoin. Eventually, these quiet, boring times go away and they typically end in fireworks. It's happened time and time again over the past few years. If we see a surge in Bitcoin at the same time the ISM hits 58, then genuinely we do have the potential to see future altcoin seasons to the similar scales that we saw in 2017 and 2021. So what do we do about it? How should we position ourselves? Is it too risky right now? Which coins should we be buying? Well, I'll tell you in just a moment. I just want to draw your attention to what I said just a moment ago. $130 million worth of Bitcoin was lost in a recent hack through a cold card wallet. And it's left me wondering how to stay safe in crypto. Hopefully this is going to help you. Now, I don't know about you, but with soaring inflation and geopolitical tension, I find myself adding more and more money to crypto. Not just to buy Bitcoin and altcoins, but also to hold more stablecoins in order to earn yields. But with every dollar I add to my portfolio, I become increasingly anxious as to whether or not my crypto is truly safe. And for good reason. If you've been subscribed to the House of Crypto for the past year or so, chances are you saw this video where I talked about how I was a victim of a social engineering scam and lost over $130,000. On top of that, hackers are getting smarter and AI is only making them more capable. So I decided it was about time to try and understand how institutions, exchanges, and large crypto projects keep their crypto safe so that I could do the same. And this led me to Bron Wallet, who've supported me in making today's video. Now, Bron Wallet comes from the founders of Copper.co, and Bron is designed to give institutional level security to the average crypto user, like you and me. Now, Bron focuses towards true ownership of crypto assets, but with seedless recovery. And this is very different from how most of the different wallets that you and I have been using. Now, obviously, like any good wallet, it supports several different chains, and you can do various other cross-chain swaps, all in a very easy to use manner. But some of the other things that have also lost me sleep over the years as I've got more and more involved in crypto are taken care of here, like digital inheritance, because this allows you to pass on assets to beneficiaries if the worst was to happen. So this means that if something happens to me, that my crypto can go to my wife or my family or whoever I've put in my will to receive it. And on top of all of this, hidden vaults. What's to stop someone taking you hostage and demanding more and more money from you, threatening to do bad things to you? Well, this is where hidden vaults come in, because by using hidden vaults, you can actually hide away the actual money that you have stored on the crypto wallets, and instead you can display a different balance. And this is obviously becoming more and more important as privacy becomes more and more relevant. And of course, it offers things like staking, security, and usability, etc. So all of the features that you traditionally get on many different wallets, but also adding an institutional level of security, seedless recovery, digital inheritance, and the ability to add an extra layer of privacy. Okay, so where should we be putting our money into in crypto? Well, obviously that's up to you. You need to be able to do your own research. You need to understand this in depth. And I've made plenty of videos over the last few months of exactly how to find the stronger altcoins. But remember, don't pay attention too much to the charts. Your only job right now is to find altcoins that have got very strong fundamentals and the ability to rally like crazy when the sun shines once more on crypto. These are the best options, because as soon as sun shines, you see what happens. You have a day, market goes up. And there's no mystery right now as to why coins like Pump Fun and Morpho have been having very good, strong days. Because if you go across to DeFi Llama, you're going to see that Pump Fund today has already made $3.2 million in fees. And if you go across to Tokenomist, you're going to see that Pump Fund has been burning about $4.6 million of their own token, which is disrupting the supply in this supply and demand model. Very important. Hyperliquid doing similar stuff with massive buybacks as well. And if we go across to Ethereum, you can see that Morpho, another coin that we just looked at, has also been having a very strong day. Lots of these coins have been making significant amounts of money, even though the market has been dead quiet. Go across to DeFi Llama, look into this. And if you want to find out exactly how to look into these in more details, then you need to watch this video where I went in depth on how to identify the best altcoins and conduct research. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Do me a favor, leave a comment down below. Let me know which altcoins I need to be looking into, ones that I don't look at. Tell me which have the best fundamentals that I need to give more exposure to, and I will do it in future videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you very soon in another one. Bye-bye.